Hey guys, it is Brian and
Haley.
And we are back. It's been a couple weeks since we gave you guys a new video, and so we figured it was time, right?
Yep.
So cool. So a couple quick updates. Number one, if you have been following our adoption and foster care journey, we now have a daughter.
Yay!
We're super excited. So she is actually sitting over there. You can't see her. The reason you can't see her is because we are being super careful and very intentional to not put her on social media. We call her by the name A when we talk about her anywhere outside of our home. Some of you have met her, so that's really cool and exciting. But yeah, she's just not in our videos, and that's totally her choice, and we're totally cool with that. We're going to respect that and let her have that privacy. So number two announcement is, if you have ever wondered about the really good, tasty food that we make and eat, our recipes are all online at martasekadventures.com. That's kind of our new landing page for everything we've got going on in our world. So our recipes are there. We have links to this YouTube as well as our YouTube about our barn dominium build that we're about to get started. So we're super excited about that. If you're interested in following that, you can go check that out. We also have information about the foster adopt process. We've come across a couple people who were curious about what it takes to get started with that. And so we put some links to different resources online. Our whole goal through this process has been that we want to share whatever we learn. And yeah, so that's what that is. The last thing on there is our hats and shirts and things like that. We actually have do for one products. That's so weird to say. Basically, if you want to, merch. If you want to wear support our foster adopt journey, that is one way you can do it. Go over to Martasek Adventures and click on merch. We've got hats and shirts and tank tops and all kinds of cool stuff. The reason that we say do for one is because we want to do for one kid what we wish we could do for them all. And so we're super excited to be doing that right now. And that's where that comes from. So anyways, one of the things that it made me think of is when we were out and about this past week, we saw some of Haley's students. We had lunch with some of them.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to all the kids that we saw. We realized that we've actually seen quite a few of you guys as we've kind of just gone and done things this summer. And
some
so,
of your bus kids.
Yeah, I've seen some of the bus students. So we've seen some of you guys at Bible studies. We've seen you at lunch. We've seen you in the grocery store. So if that's you, you know who we're talking about. And what's up? High five right there. Yeah. So anyways, speaking of students, we wanted to do the year in review recap. I know this was a real popular video last year, and so we wanted to give you guys another snapshot into what our school year looked like. We're both going to answer questions this year because Haley was in a classroom and I was on a school bus. So we're going to get started with that. Number one, Haley will answer first.
Oh, great.
Yep, pressure's on. Number one, what is your favorite memory from this school year?
So it's kind of hard to choose. I would say a tie between two things. One, going down the water slide with my students on our water day. And two, my favorite memory would be, what was the second one?
When your husband would come volunteer in your classroom?
Well, that was wonderful. Okay, that's three.
Yeah.
That makes
that's
three.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
I had another one that I really said earlier that I really liked. It's either the water slide or it's my student projects at the end of the year. The ones like my students got to research like different animals or insects or presidents, and it was really awesome to see them working together and using their skills to make awesome presentations. Some of them did clay models, some did like these little slide video things, and it was really awesome to see that. So yeah, definitely one of those two.
Yes, or number three, husband coming to the school. So back to mine. One of my favorite memories was at Christmas, and I love, two things. Okay, number one, if you've never been on my school bus, which some of you have, but most of you haven't, I actually put Christmas lights up on my bus. I don't call them Christmas lights because I keep them up almost year round. So they're just decoration lights, but I turn them on in the morning when we're going to school because that's when you can really see them. So number one, I like that the kids like that. It was like one of my favorite things. Number two, also at Christmas gifts to the bus driver are super cool. And while it's really cool to get gifts just in general, I never expect gifts. And I'm always surprised when someone puts really a lot of thought into their gifts. And this year was no exception. I actually got a super cool mug and a Jeep hat. And it came from some of my junior high students that just really listened to the things that I enjoy and appreciate. And so it was kind of cool to see just them interacting and paying attention to what was important to me. So that was really cool. That made me feel special. So
Yeah.
all right, number two.
You get to go first this time.
Number two. Okay, so what's the question?
Something to improve on or change next year.
Okay, so that was actually a pretty easy one for me to figure out. Something to improve on for me is that I did not get to know my high school students that well this year. It was a new route as far as my high school kids went, and a lot of them were pretty quiet, and they just, if you've never had a bus driver that likes to interact with you, then you don't talk to the bus driver. And that was, I think, what happened this year, is I had a lot of kids who just didn't have any expectations for really being conversational or friendly. And so I really want to build those relationships next year. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have different kids again just because of the way the attendance boundaries are set up. But that's okay. I'm going to make some new friends.
That's right.
New friends, whatever. So that's what I'm going to do. What are you going to do different or better or improve on next year?
So for me, first thing that comes to mind is science. Last year was my first year teaching science, and I feel like I could still make some improvement there. One of my favorite things that I did in science was my kids got to grow the green onions, and we would stick them in a jar of water, and they would regrow, and at the end of the week we'd cut them and pass them out, and then the next week they would regrow and cut them out, pass them out. And so I really want to do more hands-on activities like that with science. So that's something like I'm working on next year, hopefully. And those of you that were in my class last year, sorry we didn't get to do more, but maybe I'll share my ideas here and you can try them at home.
I would say maybe next year, but you're not repeating fourth grade, so.
No, but you can come wave to me in the halls and say hi, give me a hug and all that.
Me too, because I'll still be around the school.
True.
All right, number three. Okay, what was your funniest moment from this school year?
Okay, as weird as it might sound, and some of you are gonna laugh if you were in my class and you know this, but those moments when everybody would dismiss into the hall, we'd go to bus dismissal, everything's done, I walk back to my class and I realize, yet again, that student had left their lunchbox in my classroom almost every day.
Almost every day.
And every time I saw it, I would just laugh because, am I surprised? Nope, happens every day, almost. Or the other student who would leave their socks or tennis shoes in my classroom almost every day. So remember, friends, remember, students, the classroom is not your closet.
Nah, I'm a little confused why your kids had their socks and shoes off on a regular basis in your classroom.
If the girls wear sandals to school, but then they have PE, they change into their tennis shoes for PE.
I got that.
And then when they come back, they would change back into their sandals and leave their tennis shoes and socks in my room.
I gotcha. All right,
Yeah.
good to know. Good to know,
So,
good to know.
That would probably be my funniest moment because it did. As much as much as
recall-
it's not my closet and you should keep up with your stuff, and eventually that stuff, like if you leave it somewhere, it's gone forever. But it did make me laugh.
I recall that happening quite a few times. You told me those stories, so pretty funny stuff. All right, and my funniest moment, it wasn't necessarily one particular moment. This was actually something that happened a couple times during the school year. So a lot of my stories this year came from my junior high bus. I don't know why, it just kind of did. I had a boy and a girl who were friends. They were just friends, that was it. I knew that, but it still didn't stop me from teasing them a little bit, just about how close their friendship was. They both dated other people, and then that was cool. And I mean, we talked about those other people that they dated, but it was like, without fail, at the bus stop, he had to go one way and she had to go another way. And I didn't realize this was happening until another student pointed it out. Almost every afternoon, they would go hug each other before leaving the bus stop, which seems like no big deal. because it really wasn't. But once it was pointed out to me, I made fun. Like, I had a good time with it. So I would wait for them to cross the street and go to their little spot. And then as soon as they would get ready to hug, I would lay on the horn of the bus and they would turn and look and I would be like, no, 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 no. Gotta keep it separated. And everybody on the bus thought it was hilarious. And this happened, I don't know how many times. It did happen a couple times.
He was dad practicing.
I was dad practicing. So yeah, something you need to know about. So anyways, that was my funniest moment. Probably not as funny to you guys, but funny to me. So, all right, final number 4 question that we have to recap this year. This is always a fan favorite. What was your most disgusting moment or memory from this year?
Your turn first.
Oh, man. Okay, my turn. So, in all of my years of bus driving, I've never had to do this thing until this year. And I thought the kids were just messing with me when they told me that I had to do this. And then I found out that it was for real. I had a kid throw up on my bus. It was really gross. I mean, like really gross. And yeah, he actually threw up on my bus. They told me when he got off the bus at the school, and then I cleaned it up. And then he came back in the afternoon and he apologized because he knew he had done it. And it was kind of like, it was really gross. So yeah, that was my most disgusting. I do have a second runner up. It wasn't necessarily my kid, so I'll let you answer first and then I'll kind of share what I was thinking. So there you go.
If you watched our video last year, I had a very distinctive, like very disgusting moment. This one, I wouldn't say as much reaction, but it was gross, and some of you might learn from this because it may have been you, and so learn your lesson. But after the fun water day, we come inside, and we've been in our swimsuits and everything, which is understandable, but I had boys, and I don't know if the girls did this too, but I had boys walking into the restroom with bare feet. Y'all don't know what's on the floor in there?
Yes, you do.
Ew.
It's urine. Somebody went to the bathroom and they missed. It is nasty.
And you guys walk barefoot in there. Don't do that.
So gross.
Anyways, my students, I just saw some of the boys, not all, but some of the boys walking in there barefoot, and it was gross.
Really gross. That was actually what I was going to say was my second runner-up, because I was there for water day, and so I saw that happen, and I thought that was pretty nasty.
Yeah.
So
wear shoes in the bathroom.
anyways, yeah. That's it. So those are our 4 questions that we wanted to answer about this year. Thank you guys so much for joining us and paying attention to all of our rambling and fun stories. Like I said earlier, make sure that if you're interested in any of our stuff, our keto stuff, our school stuff, our foster adopt stuff, or our merch stuff, or whatever, make sure that you go check out martisecadventures.com. That's where we have all of our stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, the keto stuff is called keto stuff. Keto stuff, that's it. So yeah. All right, well, we'll catch you guys later. We will have some more videos coming. We went camping earlier this summer, and we've got some videos from that, as well as just some other stuff that we're working on, and hopefully we'll be getting that out in the next week or so. All right, you guys take care. We'll see you.
Bye.